What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSO Sage. I'm here with my boy B-Souls, and today we're talking about the beef that Kareem and Wilt had.
Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar are pillars of NBA history. Two GOATs, no debate about it. 10 years between them, they started out as pals. But when they became peers in the NBA, there was no friendship to speak of. Instead, there were constant comparisons, jealousies, hatreds, and personal attacks through autobiography after autobiography. Before Twitter, you had to get a publisher if you wanted to talk trash. Wilt Chamberlain was a marvel of athleticism and strength, setting millions of records with bone-shattering dunks and smooth fadeaways.
Can we just, marvel at this real quick? I'm not per 100 possession, bro. I don't care. Imagine averaging 50. That shit is crazy. Even have the stamina to go back and forth with that pace that they had. And, this is crazy.
Wilt got it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Wilt got it, for sure.
In '62, he averaged 50 points a game and scored 100 points in a single game. And folks, he did more than score. His rookie year, he averaged 27 rebounds a game. And in 1968, he led the league in assists as a center. The NBA changed some rules because they decided Wilt was so good it was unfair. But he only won 2 titles in his 14-year career, which, when he was playing, defined him more than the metric ton of accomplishments we've gone over. He was labeled a loser, never given the recognition you'd think would be heaped at his feet.
I'll say this about Wilt, bro. For the people who don't like Russell Westbrook because he stat pads, read some Wilt Chamberlain stories. You will hate that motherfucker if you hate Russell Westbrook.
I'm not even gonna say nothing. Just, you will hate Wilt Chamberlain.
For example, the year he scored 100 points in a game and averaged 50 points per game, he was not MVP. Bill Russell was. For the majority of his NBA career, he was compared to the Celtics center, who took the role of winner. He had 11 titles to Wilt's 2. And head-to-head, Russell usually came out on top. In retirement, Wilt spoke to that loser label during an interview with Bob Costas.
It was Wilt the loser, and that pointed me.
Never admit what bothers you, it just gives your enemies an easy avenue of attack. Speaking of enemies, let's get to know the other half of this beef, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem was more of a finesse player than a tough guy. The sky hook was his weapon as he took over the NBA in the 70s and 80s. Like Wilt, his dominance caused rule changes. The NCAA banned dunking because Kareem was too good at it.
That's crazy. They banned dunking, bro?
I'ma come clean. I'm all about learning shit. My prehistoric basketball, I'm learning that. I ain't know that. I ain't know they took out dunking for that. You damn right I'm a master of skyhook, then I can't dunk the ball. God damn.
Also like Wilt, Kareem's resume does not fit on one page. Though there was a key difference between the two. Their relationship began on good terms. At age 15, Kareem, named Lou Alcindor at the time, met Wilt, and Wilt took Lou under his wing. He let the kid hang around with him and his friends at jazz clubs, hearts games, and horse races. Alcindor was completely in awe. Who wouldn't be? A teenager hanging out with an NBA player? When I was a teenager, I'd be in awe of hanging out with a slightly older teenager. Wilt gave Alcindor 2 suits, which Alcindor wanted to keep even though they were sweat-stained and kind of gross. His mom threw them out. Alcindor's first crush was one of Wilt's girlfriends.
GG's. GG's.
Alright. One of Wilt's girlfriends. Wilt had like 500. He probably didn't mind.
I say, probably didn't mind, probably didn't even know it was Wilt's girl, but either way, GG's.
The fact that they chose this picture for Kareem.
That nigga was horny!
That was breaked up in this photo. That's crazy.
Damn, nigga. Look at his eyes.
But as Alcindor grew up, he sort of grew away from Chamberlain. As a young man, he had a few formative experiences that made him into an outspoken advocate on social justice and black issues. At age 17, he witnessed police brutality during the Harlem race riots of 1964. 3 years later, as a college student at UCLA, he attended the Muhammad Ali Summit, a meeting of vocal black athletes and political figures throwing support behind Ali and his refusal to be drafted to the Vietnam War. In 1968, Alcindor and other black athletes boycotted the Olympics in a protest of racism. Wilt Chamberlain's politics were different. He was a Republican who very publicly supported Nixon. In '68, the same year Alcindor boycotted the Olympics, Chamberlain attended Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral with Nixon. So, when Alcindor got to the NBA in '69, he wasn't so interested in being friends with Wilt. which irritated Wilt for a number of reasons. Nobody likes to be rejected. And also, he felt unfairly judged, and put it kind of bluntly. Safe to say, off the court, they had a pretty icy relationship. And then they had to face each other on the court. The 1971 Western Conference Finals was technically between the Bucks and Lakers, but the real battle was Alcindor versus Chamberlain. When the Lakers earned entry to the Western Conference Finals, the press wasn't that interested in Wilt's 25-point, 19-rebound, 9-assist performance. They just wanted to know how Wilt felt about facing Alcindor next, which Chamberlain didn't love. This brief interaction actually speaks to a second reason for early beef. So, remember how Wilt spent the majority of his career being compared to Bill Russell? Well, now Russell had retired, and Wilt was being measured against the new guy.
Yo, was Wilt KD before KD?
And there go the dislikes you can't see. There they go. Had to wait for him, guys. How many minutes is this? Like 5, 6? There you go. That's what he was waiting for, man. Comment below. Fuck it. Let's play a game with it.
Was Wilt KD before KD? Perennially second place? Start from 1 year?
Was Kevin Durant ever the best player in the world at any season? Comment below, because Benjamin, you stated his case. Oh,
whoa. Wait. Just because I said he's KD before KD doesn't mean I think Wilt was never the best player. I'm just saying the ethos of it.
I just had to test the waters. I ain't gonna lie.
Wilt denied his chance to just be king, to have people say, wow, look how good he is. No need to compare him to anyone at all. Let's just enjoy him. Press during the series focused on which center outplayed the other. The big men split games 1 and 2, even though the Bucks won both. Game 3 was Chamberlain's, and afterwards he talked a little trash against Alcindor. He implied he always outplayed Alcindor. Look at the kid's shooting percentage. In Game 4, Alcindor played like he cut Wilt's comments out of the newspaper, taped them up in his locker, and stared at them for the entire 48 hours between games. He shot 70% from the field, shutting down Wilt's shooting percentage argument.
GG's. I ain't gonna lie. This is sounding like the L's of Wilt Chamberlain. This is not sounding good.
71% just bloop, bloop.
Yeah. Right. Yo, that would piss me off.
Bro, stop.
Yeah, can we talk about if a real life player actually hit you with the same move all game, and you just couldn't stop it? Oh, I get mad, bro. That's why I couldn't do football. Them niggas spam the same play until you stop it.
Game 5 saw Wilt get the better of Alcindor, but his team lost the series. Once again, he played well, but ended up the loser. Lou and the Bucks, on the other hand, went on to be the big winners. I should mention that, okay, Lou beat Wilt, but Lou's in his prime and Wilt is 34. That has to be taken into account. Oh, no? It doesn't? At least not for some people at the time, including venerable Bill Russell. But the battle would rage again in the following year's Western Conference Finals. Alcindor had announced he converted to Islam and changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which turned some fans off him and onto Wilt. The Wilt-Kareem matchup was the draw of the playoffs, expected to be more exciting than the finals. The Lakers and Bucks split games 1 through 4, but the center duel was one-sided. After Game 4, Kareem implied Wilt was washed up. I don't know why players trash each other before the end of the series.
Mid-series? Yo, you washed, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Wash King.
A washed king that was never a king? Let me check.
Imagine if Luka was giving Braun that work, goes up 3-2, and he's just like, yeah, it's not 2005.
Yeah, come on, Pops. Give it a break.
Come on, man. It's my turn. It's my time. You better win that next game, Luka. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wilt played to make Kareem eat his words.
Oh, shit.
The Lakers GM called Game 6 Chamberlain's greatest game as a Laker from start to finish. He blocked 10 shots, 3 of which were Kareem's. Oh yeah, and he clinched a trip to the finals, which the Lakers won. In the locker room, he received a congratulatory phone call from Kareem, like a politician receiving a concession call on election night. Wilt was a winner, for that one moment in time. Winning in 72 wasn't a final verdict in the big man debate. Comparisons continued even after Wilt retired, and Kareem usually came out on top. Even the hard numbers didn't sway the argument Wilt's way. And it's not like retired Wilt could defend himself on the court, so he had to find other ways to defend himself / attack Kareem. In his 1973 autobiography, Chamberlain said Kareem's rebounding was lacking and put him in a class below Nate Thurman, Bill Russell, and just like some other guys.
Nate Thurman's nasty.
That's the only argument he has, man. His rebounding just wasn't me out there, bro. 30 a game? Alright, bro. Clearly your shit wasn't working.
Whoever else is around. But the personal slights weren't what bothered Kareem about Wilt's book. In a totally different chapter, Wilt said he found black women to be less sophisticated, socially and sexually, than white women.
Hey, yo. Oh my god. I was not expecting this take in this video. This is the L of Wilt. I ain't gonna lie. This whole video is just why Wilt is a L.
Like I said earlier, this shit sounding like the L's of Wilt Chamberlain. It only gets much worse.
This is crazy. This is crazy. What the fuck?
I'ma keep it 1,000 with niggas. Like, I've seen the people that don't like me, I've seen what I'm described as. Look, all I'm gonna say is, look, we, especially the queens, are beautiful, and this man Wilt is a liar. That's all I'm gonna say.
Kareem absolutely hated that and said so publicly,
Look at Kareem.
which did nothing to slow Wilt's criticism of him, which he kept up throughout Kareem's entire career.
Do you see these criticisms? It's literally just because of rebounding.
I just don't think he's the great defensive center he's supposed to be. He blocked your shot. I see a lot of times when he doesn't bust his tail to get down court on defense. Oh, so he giving him the old Braun treatment. Okay, he's Kareem, still a terrible transitional player, and the man has to be somewhat lazy to only get a
Certified hater. Certified hater.
Didn't respond for a while. Maybe because he felt his play was enough of a rebuttal. Wilt's opinions on Kareem were not widely held.
Talk that shit,
Abdul-Jabbar did finally fight back in 1983 with his autobiography.
The same pose. This
He
is
took plenty of
crazy.
swipes at
Hey, Kareem's a savage.
Kareem's a W.
Kareem is a him for that one.
Yo, look at these quotes. He couldn't control me. He couldn't handle me.
Not
on
handle me.
offense.
I did indeed embarrass him. Like, imagine how he said, because I did embarrass him. Like, what? Imagine playing Wilt Chamberlain. Oh, trust me, I did embarrass him. It did happen. Like, yo, I fuck with Kareem. I ain't gonna lie. Before we watch this video, I was like, I'm gonna be bored as fuck. Prehistoric basketball is not my forte. I'm happy I learned something about Big Reem today. Yes, sir.
and reinforced the narrative that Wilt was a loser. He also provided further insight into their falling out. For Kareem, it all went back to comments in Wilt's autobiography, not the comments about him, but the ones saying black women were inferior to white women. It offended everything Kareem stood for and believed in. To Kareem, Wilt was a traitor, and this beef was about more than basketball. But, basketball was still a part of it. A year later, Kareem broke Chamberlain's career scoring record amid celebrations, praise, love, and affection from everybody except Wilt.
Tough scene.
I mean, Chamberlain went to Kareem's ceremony and tried to play the part of gracious torture.
That motherfucker look petty as hell.
Yeah. And that was the drip, my boy. I ain't gonna lie. You look like we said party on.
But instead came off kinda jealous and petty. He said Kareem deserved the honor, which, is just a statement of fact based on numbers, not really a compliment.
Right.
And I get being like, hey, where was the fanfare when I set records? Because remember, Wilt got minimal recognition when he did cool stuff, and even got called selfish when he scored a lot. But he went further than just pointing out the disparity. He denigrated Kareem's accomplishment, saying, it's not Bill Russell's rebounding record, which Wilt.
Yo, cut it out.
These are rebounding's dick. Oh my god.
Cut it out. Wilt. Honestly, they're all areas of basketball, my nigga. We know what matters most in basketball. Stop it. I be feeling like this with a lot of people in the NBA community when they lose an argument, or hell, even when I lose an argument, we just start saying that bullshit, bro. Stop it.
Rebounding, bro. This is literally the 5th quote in this video where he's talking about rebounding, bro.
It's the 5th quote in the last 2 minutes. Dude, cut it out. I don't care in comment section about the era of, oh, well, in that era, the Stop. Just cut it out.
Also, he casually dropped the opinion that he was still way better than Kareem. His position did not soften 6 years later. In fact, it took on a life of its own, with Wilt insisting his record would stand if he'd been concentrating on scoring later in his career. So sure, he comes off a little petty, little jealous, but that probably makes breaking the record all the sweeter for Kareem. Tired of years of undermining comments, Kareem went after Wilt in his next autobiography, published in 1990.
God.
He wrote an open letter to Wilt Chamberlain.
Hey, Kareem got it. Kareem got it. Not Wilt Chamberlain.
I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, shit.
I am becoming a fan.
Yo, Kareem top 2. I ain't gonna lie, just because it is.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck Braun. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, get Braun out of here. Fuck LeBron James. I said it. And fuck Jordan too. Why not? This is my GOAT. This is my GOAT.
Shit.
Holy shit.
Not Wilt Chamberlain. This is nasty. This is nasty.
The letter spanned many topics, all of them mean. But the thesis of the 3-page letter was Wilt's jealous, not because Kareem earned more respect and adoration, but because Kareem was a winner and Wilt was a loser. Kareem closed by saying, "People will remember that I worked with my teammates and helped us win. You'll be remembered as a whining crybaby and a quitter, stats and all."
Yo, W Kareem, bro.
No, I'm a Kareem stan. Nope. I'm a Kareem stan.
You called it how it is. Fuck.
Stats and all. Kareem was attempting to pull the rug out from under Wilt's legacy with the stats don't matter if you don't have titles argument. It wasn't a new argument, which made it worse. Kareem was lending expertise and credence to an opinion that haunted Chamberlain, being a loser. A year later, Wilt published his second autobiography and pretended the letter didn't bother him. Why do I say pretended? Because in his book, over and over again, Chamberlain argues he was better than Kareem, even though Kareem got more recognition.
Yo, how many
He also kind of went off on Kareem's farewell tour. In Kareem's last year, at each final away game, opposing teams held a pre-game ceremony and gave him some pretty sweet gifts, while the rival crowd stood to applaud him. Chamberlain called the tour a contrived fiasco full of material bullshit. He said Kareem should have made charitable donations instead of accepting luxury goods. The extent to which he criticized the tour sounds a bit like sour grapes. But hey, Wilt didn't get a Rolls Royce when he retired, so why can't he at least have some sour grapes? As time wore on, this beef cooled down. With both guys retired, they had less opportunity to talk about each other. And most famous people only get to write one autobiography, so they were already kind of pushing it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad you pointed it out. Bro, this is like the 3rd biography of each person. How much life do you go through between each one to have another one? Like, dang, fuck.
So what happened between you being retired and you, like, being further retired? Like, I don't know.
But fuck Wilt, though. Fuck Wilt.
Before we get to the index and the closing chapters, in fact, you know what? Before the end of this video, click it if you want to watch. We just all want to say, fuck Wilt Chamberlain.
In the late 90s, they did a commercial together, and according to Kareem, put their feud behind them on set. He claimed he never hated Wilt, just his politics, which I don't know if I totally believe, but if he believes it, I'll drop the issue. When Wilt passed away in 1999, Kareem had nothing but praise for the Dipper. This beef is unique because external factors created it. If we think of this beef as a full cow, stick with me here, the cow had 2 hearts. For Kareem, the heart was a difference in politics and an offensive, generalized racial statement from his one-time mentor. For Wilt, the heart was the imbalance of respect from fans, press, and the league. The rest of the cow, the muscles and ligaments and spots and hooves, were generated by how each guy responded to their heart. The post-game trash talk, the decades of undermining comments, the dueling autobiographies, etc. And while there was an entire cow of beef between these 2 phenomenal athletes, it did not hurt their legacies. Wilt's loser stigma was lost to the hard numbers and his tome of accomplishments. The guy's a legend. And Kareem's legacy stands pat as one of the greatest ever. Wilt's digs were minority opinion at the time and are non-existent opinion now. Their legacies survive the beef because goats can't be taken down by a cow.
Really think about it, Sage. Really think about it.
She ain't washed back in the barnyard.
That's a W video. Holy shit.
I ain't gonna lie again. I have no shame in my game. I don't speak for us both, but I speak for myself. Prehistoric basketball is not my forte. No cap. So I'm down to learn anything. Hope she didn't have biased research in it because I'm a Kareem stan.
Yeah, I'm a Kareem stan. I ain't gonna lie.
She did tell straight facts. And those facts make me a Kareem stan. Before my house phone keeps ringing, though, if you hear that. Here's the vid I said click earlier. It's here now. Yeah, there you go. It was premeditated. Take care and stay blessed, y'all. And again, fuck Wilt Chamberlain.